Welcome to Mattermosaic, piecing together the universe, one discovery at a time. Today, we were tracing the life and legacy of one of the greatest scientific pioneers in history, Marie Curie, the woman who changed our understanding of matter itself through her groundbreaking discoveries in radioactivity. At the turn of the 20th century, science was standing at the edge of a new frontier. The atom was thought to be the smallest, most indivisible unit of matter, solid and unchangeable. But hidden within that tiny structure lay a source of power and mystery that would soon redefine physics, chemistry, and even medicine. It began in 1896, when French physicist Henri Becquerel discovered that uranium salts emitted an invisible form of energy that could expose photographic plates. It was a strange, spontaneous radiation that seemed to come from the atom itself. No one knew why or how. Among those intrigued by this discovery was a young Polish-born scientist working in Paris, Marie Curie. Alongside her husband, Pierre Curie, she set out to study this strange phenomenon in depth. They began meticulously measuring the weak rays emitted by uranium, and soon made a stunning observation. Another mineral, pitchblende, emitted far more radiation than uranium alone could explain. Marie Curie realized something revolutionary. There must be new, unknown elements within the ore, far more radioactive than uranium. In other words, she had stumbled upon something the world had never seen. For months, the Curies worked tirelessly, processing tons of pitchblende in a makeshift lab. Their hands grew blistered, their clothes soaked in acid fumes, and yet they pressed on, driven by curiosity and determination. In 1898, they announced the discovery of two new elements: polonium, named after Marie's homeland of Poland, and radium, a substance so powerful it glowed faintly in the dark. This was the dawn of a new science, radioactivity, a term Marie Curie herself coined. It revealed that the atom, once thought to be unbreakable, was in fact dynamic, capable of transformation. Inside each atom, energy lay bound in forces beyond imagination. But for the Curies, the discovery was not about fame. It was about knowledge. Marie refused to patent her methods or restrict their use, believing that science belonged to everyone. She once said, "I am among those who think that science has great beauty." A scientist in his laboratory is not only a technician, he's also a child placed before natural phenomena, which impress him like a fairy tale. Her dedication came at a great personal cost. Working without proper protection, the Curies were unknowingly exposed to intense radiation. They kept samples of radium in their pockets and marveled at its glow in the dark, unaware of its danger. Years later, this invisible force that had brought Marie Curie such discovery would also bring her declining health. Still, she continued. In 1903, Marie and Pierre shared the Nobel Prize in Physics with Henri Becquerel for their work on radioactivity, making Marie Curie the first woman ever to receive a Nobel Prize. But her journey didn't end there. After Pierre's tragic death in 1906, Marie took his place as professor at the Sorbonne, becoming the first female professor in the university's history. She pressed on with her research, isolating pure radium and measuring its properties. In 1911, she won her second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for discovering the elements polonium and radium. To this day, she remains the only person ever to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields. Her discoveries sparked entire industries, from medical imaging to cancer treatment, from nuclear energy to the atomic theory that shaped the 20th century. During World War I, she even developed mobile X-ray units, known as Little Curies, that brought life-saving diagnostics to soldiers on the front lines. But more than her discoveries, it was her spirit of perseverance that defined her legacy. In a time when women were rarely allowed to enter laboratories, Marie Curie not only entered, she transformed science itself. She broke barriers not through ambition, but through quiet, relentless work. She once wrote, "Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less." Those words still echo through every discovery that builds on her legacy today. The science of radioactivity opened the door to both creation and destruction. from medical breakthroughs to nuclear power and weapons. Yet at its core lies the same curiosity that drove Marie Curie, the search to understand the hidden forces of nature. Her notebooks, still radioactive more than a century later, are kept in lead-lined boxes, a haunting symbol of how her work continues to radiate through time. But perhaps her true legacy is not the energy she uncovered, but the example she set. That discovery demands not just intelligence, but courage, humility, and a belief that knowledge can illuminate even the darkest unknowns. This is Mattermosaic, piecing together the universe one discovery at a time. Marie Curie's story reminds us that science isn't only about what we find. It is about the curiosity that drives us to keep searching. If you enjoyed this, let us know in the comments and continue the journey by watching our next video.